94.3 Radio 1. 94.3. One world, your station.
My name is Annie, and what we're looking at today on She Slays is an extremely special person. I met this person, I think, easily 15 years ago at least, maybe. And that was when it was my first encounter with her and the foundation she'd started. It's called the Salam Bombay Foundation, more than 20 years old. She's the founder and director, Miss Padmini Sekhsaria. Padmini, it is so good to touch base with you after so many years.
Thank you so much, Annie. So lovely to get back in touch with you after all these years. And thank you for all the kind things you've said.
Tell us a little bit of your backstory before this foundation and multiple other foundations. Now that you've taken this foundation national and other government institutions that you're associated with, there's a whole host of things that you do. But first, your story.
So, I have had the privilege of being born in a gender-blind home. And I never realized when I was born that I was born a girl, or that being a girl was in any way different or negative, or in any sense, I always felt that I was just one lucky child born into a home which had a lot of love. When I was born, my family was not a family of great privilege. So we were a middle-class family. We were doing well. My father was very, very comfortable, had been successful in his cotton trading business. But we were a small, simple Marwari family growing up in Mumbai and having our own simple life. And I think that the most important learnings that I learned from my grandparents, my parents, were really just strong values. We were taught that you had to be a good human being and you had to take care of people around you, and that everything that we got from society, it obligates us to give back and take care of every person. So at every stage of our lives, we've seen that, we've learned that. As a little girl, my mom used to take me, to the Lions Club in Dadar, where there used to be a school for special children. And I used to go there with her, and she used to serve there like regularly, like spending time there and doing things there. But at least once a year, she would take me there and make sure that on my birthday, I would do something special with those kids and understand that, we don't have to be only look at our privilege from a financial standpoint or a wealth standpoint.
Correct.
Our privilege comes from the fact that we, have normal lives, we have health, we have security in terms of love, we have relationships. This privilege comes in many, many ways. And
Correct.
I think having been brought up in a home where so much love and so much security was showered on me, there was also one sense that, I could achieve anything in the world, because of that. And I've learned that as a woman, as a mother, if you have to give your children unconditional love and an opportunity, they will just pretty much flower and do anything that they want to do in life. So that's really just the learning that with which I grew up. But having seen a lot of, little charity work that my parents have always done, for us, it was not something that was separate from our lives. My father used to run one little eye camp project in our village in Rajasthan, in Jirawa, where he used to give free surgery for people with cataract. And thousands of people would come from neighboring villages who could not afford cataract, because people were told that, when people get old, your parents, your grandparents would are very old, and getting their cataract surgery done, and I'm talking in the 70s, they used to say that, it used to cost money, and since they're not really productive members of the family, it didn't make sense to spend on their cataract surgery. So many old people were left getting blind because the surgeries were not done. So when the year I was born, my father started these eye camps in Jirawa in our village. And every year, for many, many years, they did it for, almost 20 years. He did it regularly and served lots and lots of people. So my point was just to say that all of this has been just part of our upbringing, what we've seen, what we've experienced, and what we've learned to do just as a way of life, not so much as something you get out and do separately and think it's different from everyday. This is what everyday life.
Skill development. We know for a fact, even today, after you having spent 20 years, you probably know a whole lot more than what I do know, is that we still lack in skill training. And you pretty much tried to bridge the gap way back then. You had a vision. Did you kind of read into the future, speculate well enough, and you knew this is where I need to do something for the lesser privileged people?
I think our learning came from the ground. When we were in the slums, working with children from government schools, we realized that there's a huge problem of dropout in India. We all know that. The data, I think, when you look at Asar data or any other government data, and depending on the state you're in, of every 100 children who start school, only 2 children finish the 12th standard. That was sort of like startling data that we couldn't even understand what was going on. And a third of kids drop out by the time, they are in the 8th standard. So already a lot of dropout starts happening and at a very early age in India, and especially in Mumbai slums where my experience taught me and showed me firsthand what was going on. So I started asking myself that question that, what is really happening here? Why are kids dropping out of school? And one of the things which stood out for me was the fact that many families feel that by the time the children reach 7th or 8th standard, they pretty much learn the basics of, reading, writing, arithmetic. So they feel that, now doing a little more of geography or history or science is not going to really get them a better job. It's better now they're 12, 13 years old. We can take them out of school and get them some, small labor job and they'll add to family income. What's the point? And, all those stereotypes ki aage pad ke kya karega ya kya karegi or whatever that is. So those are real issues. And obviously families which come from slums are still struggling financially. The difference and the gap in India between the poorest and the richest is unimaginable, right? So
correct.
In that sense, we're still with families who are just so under-resourced in the urban slums. I think it really made me think about what is it that we need to do to fix this. And one of the other aspect which has also always troubled me is that all the skilling programs that existed in India were always done for 18 plus. So what basically the system was is that the government or the system, it actually doesn't do anything to keep you in school beyond a point. So you go and drop out. And then many years later, 5 years later, whatever, they come back in your life and try to fix it in a superficial way by saying, now you try and do some skill and we'll try and get you back on the, track of work and life. So my question and my challenge in my mind was to say, how do you not allow them to fall off the track rather than have them on the track, fall off and then try to bring them back? Absolutely. So that's how we started skilling programs at school, because we wanted to tell families that your children can stay in school, get a skill, and continue school and manage a better future for themselves.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's indeed beautiful. Skill set training, just reinstating, or for that matter, even for the creating confidence and helping build self-esteem in these children is much required. And you've been at it for over 2 decades. Now, I believe because of your work and your commitment and of course seeing results, government institutions and other organizations also have approached you and you're on the board of these institutions. How do you help them understand what is lacking in our economic fabric as well as social fabric and trying to, bridge the gap, Padmini?
I think it's so important in the social sector, like actually any sector, but more important in the social sector, Annie, that we need to collaborate. For us, it's a very big gap in our country. NGOs tend to want to work only for themselves. I think people feel scared to share resources. They feel scared to share credit, who's responsible for the success. I think we need to get out of that frame of mind, because in a large country like India, with such a large population of young people, it's an opportunity for us to collaborate and create force multipliers of change. Also, I feel that in India, to really create change, you have to work with government. You have to work across states and you have to work with experts so that we can really leverage learning, we can leverage each other's resources and skills. And obviously, what we will get as a result will benefit everybody. So that's the mindset with which, I'm trying to approach things. And whenever I have an opportunity to build collaboration or build new relationships, I always feel it's an opportunity to just create more force multipliers of change that we can for our country.
Oh, that's beautiful. Speaking of some facts of how, the economic status of every city that you have been in has changed, and how the overall collective conscience of even those who may have been lesser privileged is changing. What do you have to say about that?
I think that India, in general, I feel that we're a country where we have the demographic dividend, which will help us rapidly change and improve. I think there is a desire in Indian people to do better for themselves. There's an aspiration at the bottom of the pyramid. There's an aspiration even in rural villages and rural areas. Everybody wants to do better. Everyone wants progress. Everyone wants a smartphone. They want to be connected to the internet. They want to be mobile beyond just physically mobile. They want to be, socially mobile, economically progress in life. And that's going to show and reflect in everything in terms of even consumer behavior. You see, like what do people want? Sometimes people ask me about buying behavior of people in slums or rural areas, and I say, just because they live in the slum or in a rural area doesn't mean they want a bad product. People want a good product at a good price, a good service at a good price. And so you'll see today, you'll have schools which are addressing these needs, hospitals which are addressing these needs, which have come for low-income families, but are creating really high-quality offerings. So that's what, when you see progress, that every person really wants to really move forward. And I feel that there's a great desire for progress, but there's also, in India, maybe it comes from our values and our culture, that there's not a deep level of resentment or dissatisfaction for where people are. So people want to start from where they are and build forward. They don't sit there and think about the fact that, I don't have this and that guy has that. And that's not our culture really. But I think people accept, okay, I was dealt this hand, but now let me see what I can do with it. One of the comments one of the fathers made once when I asked him, what is your aspiration for your child? Aapko kya chahiye? And he said to me that, I want my child to do anything but what I do. Like, jo main karta hu, wo nahi karta. Like, to do better than whatever I'm doing. And we also saw this aspiration thing, like when we started doing skilling in the schools, we had to actually do a lot of advocacy and education around skilling opportunities. So, for example, we were trying to do work for the hospitality industry or retail industry. We wanted to train up young people to be shop assistants, receptionists, and hospitality. Like lots of now, it's a booming industry. A lot of people getting picked up. Also, we had a similar request. A lot of private security agencies need guards, especially female trained guards who are, like smart, who are fit. So we were trying to see if we can use our sports programs and, also some kids who can go on and look at some of these vocations. But many of the families were very appalled. They were like, after all this education coming, we left our villages, came to the city, and now you want our children to do chowkidari. You want our children to pick up chutha bartan.
Dignity of labor, something that we're still learning to catch up with. Again, it's part of our culture. It's something that we've been conditioned with, thanks to the kind of, the bad side of diversity that we have, and the very many communities that we have that are defined and divided in the name of race, caste, and class. I believe you plan to take it even further, maybe many more cities across the country, Padmini?
Absolutely. I think we have to be able to reach every child in every way we can. And we hope to keep growing with the support of government, the support of our donors, and also where the need takes us.
Absolutely. Now, in trying to change mindsets, because when it comes to so much of conditioning that a country like India has, which in its diversity, while there is so much to celebrate, there is a whole lot that needs to still change. When it comes to the divisions that our culture has been creating for centuries now. So to be able to change mindsets to begin with, so that they are open to doing different kinds of jobs, which obviously have a lot to offer, but we still don't know to look at it that way. We don't have those perspectives. You may have had to have conversations with everyone on a daily basis and spend hours and hours doing it. Tell us a little about it.
So it's absolutely true. You do have to build advocacy through change, through communication, through building trust. And it's important, I think, even as any parent, whether it's a parent in a slum or it is any of us, as parents, we all worry about our children, and we never want to do anything that will threaten their safety or compromise their future. So these conversations are no different. They really just need reassurance that their children are going to do something that's going to be safe for them in every sense, not just physical safety, but also safety in terms of economic safety, emotional safety, whatever else it takes, right? So there's a lot of faith and trust that goes into these relationships. We have a large team of 120 full-time staff now in Bombay, and a large part of what they do is building trust on the ground with families, with authorities, trying to really keep that bridge alive of saying that every child we need to take care of, every family we need to know, and we have a deep understanding of the families that our children come from. So we maintain like a little bit of a database internally of every child's background, their family circumstance, their parents, their siblings. Now we've also, because we've been around for more than 20 years, we've had a whole slew of multiple siblings coming to our programs, because once the elder one comes he or she makes sure that the next lot all come through as well. So we've got
Right.
those family, our Salam Bombay family is literally now, who have, I have parents who come to me say कि अब मेरा बच्चा सलाम बॉम्बे में आ गया तो अब मुझे चिंता नहीं रही. So I must say some amazing innovations were done during COVID to keep learning going, and we created a little campaign which we called Bridge the Gap, so that we could get people to come and just support data packs. We just wanted people to give us money to just give them free data so they could keep coming to their class and not drop out. And I think that really helped. That truly helped. But as I said, long journey ahead. We're now back at school. It's a new, like, the world is now divided between BC and AC, before COVID and after COVID. So we are now in the AC world. We have to see where we go from here.
Yeah, abbreviations have got a new meaning and a new, new words altogether. It's interesting you pointed out BC and AC now. This is really cool. Thank you so much for all the effort you're putting in this direction, Padmini, and I hope to meet you soon. I also hope to see the footprint of Salam Bombay Foundation cutting across the country, so that people change for good and people change with the intention and the idea of having a truly better tomorrow. Thank you so much for everything that you and your team have been doing.
Thanks, Annie. Thank you so much for everything you do. And you yourself are such an inspiration as a woman to all of us. Your energy keeps us all going. Good luck, lots of love, all the best.
Thank you so much, Padmini. Thank you so much.
One world, your station.